Oh,
Hi,
hi,
Jonas.
Oh my
Uh,
God, look at you.
yes, so good to see you. So, hi
Yeah.
everyone. We're here to have a little recording about and share with you a story because Jonas and I, we have a very special connection. We met 10 years ago, and that was when I was a backpacker and I traveled from Australia. I was living in Australia at the time, and I did a volunteer work trip in Rwanda. We were teaching clay therapy to psychology students in Butare, and we were also teaching some massage and laughter yoga to local communities. And that's when Jonas's mother, Christina, she came up to me and she said, "Hey, my husband died. I cannot afford to send my son to school, and he is depressed at home. And can you please help?" And so I don't know what happened and why I said yes, because I was a backpacker. I didn't have money at the time, but I said yes. So something that was like, okay, I have to say yes. And I did. And that's how our love story started, because Jonas always calls it a love story.
Yes, darling, thank you. Really, I remember that time when you just come out. All of a sudden, I was in a very, very awful situation because back then my dad had died, and I was really having super bad life in my family because we're absolutely poor, with my mama who was weaker due to HIV and with no job. So I had to quit school, to dodge school, if I can say that. I had dodged the school at that moment because I was nobody in my family were able to pay for my school fees. Actually, I really liked to go to school and I had bigger dreams. Like I say, I used to tell you that I wanted to be a bank manager because I used to see people in banks were so smart. And I was like, I have to be a bank manager. But because I lost my dad, nobody was going to help me in my community because actually in my village, no one would care. And among my extended family, nobody had gone to school.
How old were you at the time?
I think I was 15. I was 15. And then I dodged the school because I could not afford the school. And I can tell you, darling, in that moment, my life was really, really awful because every moment I was trying to bear responsibilities of the house because I was the older boy in the house at that moment. I had to wander in the street trying to have some avocados, wandering them, selling them out of little money. And because I wanted to go to school and it was not possible, I was always contemplating, always with sorrow, with the pain inside, seeing angry, and I was like this bad guy, really, seeing other children of my age going at school, and I'm not going to be a bank manager like I dreamt.
And I remember you even mentioned to me that you were contemplating suicide at the time. Like,
oh my God, that's the life. That's the daily thoughts that come out when you are in that situation. You were like, oh my God, were I born? Why am I in this world? Why do I live? So I was living this kind of life really, and no hope to live in this life. So I remember it was one night I was coming out for my shitty job, if I can say. And then I was in the house and my mom said, "Hey Jonas, please can you dance?" What? Because I was really, you can see, you used to tell me that my smile is good, right? You used to tell me that. But honestly, at that moment, I wish, thank God that you never seen me at that moment because I was like angry, resenting, and a very, very, very hopeless guy, really. I can tell, darling, I was really hopeless. But back then, when my Christina told me that, Jonas, you have to dance. Dance for what? I've got someone to pay for your school. I said, come on, that's a drama. And by then, it was not, I could not believe that until we grew up, me and you, we met and have this relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you share your part of the story, I just feel so touched, because when I said yes, I had no idea what I was saying yes to. And I had also no idea, I could have never dreamt the impact of my small yes that it made in your life. For me, it was just like, okay, well, let's try. And you told me your story, and it just, it was like such a big realization for me. What a difference it made in your life. And I just feel so grateful that I was able to be that part, play that part in your life,
Yeah. Where we met each other, I was afraid that you were not going to bear with me with my life, but maybe it was God or the universe wanted us to meet and to do what we are doing now. So when you met me, it just improved my confidence, and I felt that I'm loved, and it gave me the courage to continue and pursue my dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. Because 5 years into knowing each other, I indeed came to Rwanda, and I met you for the first time in physical, in reality, not just on Skype. And yes, for me, it was such a journey of really dropping into my heart and seeing you as equal, and of course, this is embarrassing to say, but there is stories of separation that are playing out, for each one of us. Like, of course, the black-white story is the biggest one, that's like, and yeah. So if you don't know someone, if you haven't met them eye to eye, if you're not in touch with them, then it's so easy to put that person in a box somewhere. And for sure, on a 10-year journey, that box just disintegrated, and you became my brother. And when I was in Rwanda with you, and I was sleeping under your roof, I was eating with you, I was sharing meals with you, I was cooking with you, we were doing dishes together, we were washing clothes together, we were shopping together, and you were the best tour guide ever. That all of those stories, they just disappeared, because I remember the strongest memory I have from the time in Rwanda with you is how incredibly at home and welcomed you made me feel. I mean, you had like so little money, and I came, and there was this feast on the table. And yeah, anyway, I can talk about that forever, but we want to keep it short. So there is this beautiful love story that happened between us, because we truly made such an impact in both our lives. And, just as much as I made an impact in your life, you made an incredible impact in my life. It just made me a better person. Yeah. And from that connection, which I think is really the most inspiring factor about the story, true magic happened, because at some stage 3 years ago, this Polish YouTuber went to Rwanda and hired you as a tour guide after I set up an account for you to be a tour guide somewhere, just random. And then all of a sudden you were all over the internet, and you shared your story on the internet, and people got inspired by that story, and they started contacting us, and they said, hey, I also want to support, but I don't want to do it through a third party. I don't want to do it for a middleman. And do you know people? And that's how all of a sudden we have how many children?
We have 30 now. We are supporting 30 now. Yeah.
30 children, primary school, high school, and 2 university students, right? Yeah. So, and I know that when we started our story, our relationship, I said to you, Jonas, I will support you as much as I can, but under one condition. And that condition was,
I have to support someone in return. And I told you that I have to support many, not just one, because I was really touched by this kind of support where someone who is not your relative, who is not your neighbor, whom you don't relate at all, can just assure you and say that I'm going to handle this education for you. I really wanted to do the same. I felt like the universe, just I owe something in the universe that I have to give it back. Yeah. And I thank it that it gave me the way of contributing, because now those 30 children, they're under my care now, because I'm helping them to connect to other people in daily life. Just I have created a family, if I can say that. And I think it's one of way of contributing to the universe. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I love about this, because of course, the more children that get supported and this grows, we will have to think about making it, possible, like just time, energy wise. But what I love what you have done is you have brought all the sponsors together and literally said like, hey guys, I need your help. How can we grow? How can we make this more stable? Because one of the problems that happens is that sometimes sponsors drop out for, whatever reasons, like life situations change. And then, it's so painful, right? Like a child has this hope and this dream because they're going back to school and they go like, wow, my life is possible again. And then the sponsor drops out and they go, oh, okay, now I'm back to where I was. So, and that's also really painful for you to go to those children and have to say that to them. So now you brought us all together.
I know how it feels when someone drop out, and know how you became sort of sudden, you cut short. You can't continue what you have been doing. And I know how it feels. That's why I couldn't ignore them, because when the world just came into some problems, some people lost their jobs in the COVID period. Now the war in Ukraine, the prices have changed. So people claim a lot of reasons, which I still appreciate what they did so far. But I also put myself into the shoes of those children who have been having. Actually, I can tell you that when we ensure a child to go to school, I am assuming that they will have even food at school, because when they go to boarding school, they will also have meals. Yeah. Can imagine if they drop out, they totally become hopeless. Yeah. So this is why I say, oh my God, I feel disappointed. I also feel so bad. And if 11 sponsors dropped out, I was like, oh my God, I want to have other mechanisms in which we have to back the children in case some sponsors drop out. Yes.
Right. So this is why we are creating this call. So to share our story with others, because of course, our strategy at this moment is to find new sponsors. If whoever feels they resonate with the story, they love, they feel inspired in the heart and they really feel like, this is something I'm going to do from here. Then yes, sponsoring a child is one way. But then of course, some people don't have this energetic capacity to come into a relationship with a child or to continuously support. And so we have figured out two other ways, and that is do a one-time donation, whenever you feel abundant and you feel like, yes, I just want to give this much money. And then we will use that money as a cushion. So savings account for moments when a sponsor drops out, then we can use that money to keep the child at school. And the third option is, of course, also that people can continuously support with a small amount. If €5 a month is all what you can afford, then you can, do that, €5 a month. And that also gets put in that savings account. Yeah. And so, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful introduction to our course. So thank you so much for listening. And Jonas, thank you so much for being who you are, because as your older sister, I just feel so incredibly proud of you for the beautiful heart and the beautiful man that you're becoming. So thank you.
Yeah, I also thank you, because you're inspired to do this. And when I'm doing that, I like that you always understand what I want to do. And please, I'm calling upon anyone who wish to contribute in one way or another. You may know a friend who can donate, who can support a child. Or like you have said, a person may not have this amount of money to cover a child, but have some amount, small amount. And together, I know that the power of togetherness can really make incredible things. So thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.